Hello, welcome to Real Frank Movie Reviews. Thanks for checking it out. In this episode, we're going to review the new movie, Black Adam, starring Dwayne Johnson. My guest reviewer and I are going to break this movie down. We will be talking about spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet and you want to see it first, go see it and then check out this episode. Now, was Dwayne Johnson able to make a movie for DC to finally compete with Marvel? We'll get into that next.
Real Frank.
All right, welcome back to the show. One of our favorite guests, Kevin. Kevin, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, nice being on here, Frank. It's been a while, so.
It has been a while, but we got a great movie to talk about, I think, from the standpoint of discussions here. Black Adam.
Yes. So.
Could you go ahead and tell our viewers what this movie was about? A little summary.
Yeah, quick summary. It starts off like 5,000 years ago in ancient Middle East. And then you have a boy who becomes a slave. Then he gets powers from the wizards from Shazam. Then he defeats the bad guy back in ancient Middle East. And then it cuts space to current day, what the country is current day, and they have Intergain running the place, stripping resources. Mm-hmm. And then he comes back and then he fights both the Justice Society and the new bad guy. I think that's probably a good summary of the movie, right?
Yeah, so. And I mean, with this movie, I already informed the viewers that we will be talking about spoilers. I mean, it's why beat around the bush here, you know? I mean, if we really want to get into it, we got to talk about the spoilers. But, okay, all right. So, your impression before you saw the movie and your impression after the movie. So, before going in, what did you think this was going to be like?
That's a good question. I didn't have any expectations, right? I saw the trailer. Nothing really grabbed me. I thought some of the Justice Society characters have been cool to see. But then when I watched the movie, like, 8 out of the 10 choices were just bad choices, right? I did not enjoy this movie. Like, every time they made a decision, it was like a bad decision. I don't know if you're on the same wavelength, but I was very disappointed in this movie.
Kevin, I'm just going to be blunt with you. This was one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen.
I agree 100%.
And the thing that is most frustrating for me, I mean, people are going to wrap it up with Dwayne Johnson, right? Dwayne Johnson in the movie. They can't separate the two. Like, everyone loves Dwayne Johnson, the person, the wrestler, and an actor. But this movie, if you eliminate your love for Dwayne Johnson, which, fantastic guy, his physique was incredible. But if you eliminate that and you just break down the movie, the story, just the story alone, and the rest of the movie, it is garbage. Garbage.
I think even casting The Rock as Black Adam is just a wrong choice, right?
I agree more. And he didn't really have any dialogue in this movie.
No, he didn't. And then the dialogue they gave him was so forced and so dumb. Like the whole plot line. Oh my! I don't know where to start. It's just everything. I guess we can start at the beginning, right?
Yeah, let's start with the beginning.
What did you think? When they started setting up the movie and they went back and showed this ancient country and they were showing, I thought it was sort of cool. Some of it was cool. Some of it was too long, I thought. Right. I did like the young kid actor as he was standing up to the oppressors and his storyline, but it's just too much talking in the beginning.
Yeah, and then, you know, oh.
And even when they, that whole thing at the end when they did the same thing was just dumb, right?
Yes.
I don't know if I have a better term for that, but it was just cheesy and not well placed. So
yeah, I mean, the thing I'm frustrated with this is, this movie is going to have a huge box office numbers because people are such fans of Dwayne Johnson, which, fine.
right.
But in reality, the movie is shit. And people, and that's what I get annoyed with, because it's going to be considered a success by Hollywood standards because it's all about the money, but not so much the content that was made.
Right. Like, so it's just like frustrating with The Rock being the main actor. Like, even what do you think the first main battle scene when he got brought back and then he started carrying all the soldiers?
So, it was weird. It really, really was weird to me, the whole setup for that. And then when he got hurt, right? He got hurt by what? A special missile. He gets hurt, and he just crashes. But he's supposed to be this superhero, and he's out. He's hurt, and he wakes up in this bedroom, and he heals himself. Why did it's that whole thing I didn't understand either.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't bother me so much. It was more of like the battle itself, like all the slow motion they were doing.
Yes.
I didn't think about it till this morning, but they're just ripping off every other movie, right? Like in the Justice League, the Flash did it better.
Yeah.
And the X-Men movie, Quicksilver did it better. And he's just in the CGI, like in the temple when he came back and he was trying to do fast, all that stuff looks so fake too. Like the CGI was just horrible.
That's a great point, Kevin. I didn't think about that. You're right, because in the Justice League one, they used that with the Flash when he was running. And wow, I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about it when I was watching it, but just thinking about it, getting ready for today, I was like, I've seen this before and done better. Yeah. And all he's doing is just staring at people, right?
That's it. That's it. You're right. He's just staring at people and one-liners, basically.
They're not even funny at one-liners. They're just horrible one-liners.
Now, yeah, how full was the theater when you saw it?
I saw it Friday night. It was decently full. It wasn't a packed house like a Marvel movie would be, but
right.
It was pretty full.
How about the liners? Like, they forced some lines, and anyone laughed?
Nobody laughed at anything.
Nobody laughed. Here's my other thing. I know I'm going all over the place with you, Kevin, but I have so much to talk about this movie.
Yes, I know.
So you know how most of the movie he's flying, right, or he's hovering, right?
Yeah,
majority of the movie.
Than flying.
Now the thing that I was obsessed with, but also curious with, is I got a little prop for you, Kevin.
Okay.
Him flying, his knee bend.
That's funny.
I don't have my periphery. I have to use Mr. Miyagi, but here, in the whole entire movie, he's hovering and he's got this slight knee bend, right? So I'm obsessed with that knee bend. Like, is he bending his knee now? And I'm thinking, is that really his leg bending that entire time? Because that's got to be absolutely uncomfortable. Or is that CGI? Like, he's standing and their knee bending.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is a long time to be hovering. And his knee is bent, just like that. You notice that? His knee was bent when he was hovering all the time?
I wasn't that observant, but I get your point, right? So
I know I'm weird. What do you think? You think that was him? Or you think how he did that?
I think they probably put some CGI in there.
Yeah, because that's a long time to bend your knee. I mean, all those takes, you bending your knee. I mean, you're going to have some arthritis or something going on there.
Well, no, he's fit. Maybe he can do it, right?
Maybe he can do it. That's what he's practicing, his leg curls or his leg extensions to hover around the whole entire movie. Woo! But anyway, let's go back to the story. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I apologize.
No, I like your observation skills. They bring value.
But the story itself, what did you think of this? If you eliminate, all right, let's talk. We get rid of the CGI, we get rid of the Dwayne Johnson part as Black Adam. Just the story itself, what's your take on just the story?
Just generic. Like, they try to set up this redemption path for him, and I didn't believe it, right? Like, he kills everybody at the beginning. he fights the Justice Society. They have this complete opposite personality in Hawkman that just feels forced, right? What do you think of like the character? Like, I know we're jumping around a little bit.
Yeah.
But the kid and the mom with the drivers of the strike, I thought the kid stuff was so forced, right?
Is
like trying to talk to him about come up with the catchphrase. Like even building that up didn't pay off in the end. That was just dumb.
It was awful. The story was just awful. That's the best way to describe it. It was choppy, like you're saying, like exactly what you're saying. Forced. Immediately when he wakes up in his bed, he accidentally zaps Superman's face. Ha 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 ha. And automatically we're talking about a catchphrase. You just woke up this guy 5,000 years and you don't know anything about him, and then you're talking about a catchphrase. It felt like it was just stupid. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, and then the Justice Society. Now, I did like some of the characters. The Atom Smasher guy, I thought he was sort of fun, right? But then when he was in his mask, I was just thinking, this is like Deadpool. Like the way the mask was moving was like Deadpool.
And the eyes, right? The mask and the eyes made it look like Deadpool. Like I don't know if you've seen any interviews with Dwayne promoting this movie.
No, I haven't been following that stuff. So.
His big thing he always got asked was, are you competing with Marvel? And he's like, no, this is a completely different apple. There's many different apples out there. This is a different movie. Let me give you some reality check, Dwayne. It's fucking just like Marvel. You were trying to be just like Marvel, but it failed epically.
Yeah, and then I like the girl in there that does the Cyclone. I forget what her name was, right? Paris Brosnan was sort of interesting, but he was just a generic character.
Yeah.
And then the Hawkman guy. I mean, at the beginning, I liked the authority he brought to the role, but the way he interacted and the way he was just like trying to be the polar opposite and said, we don't kill, that was just ham-fisted and kludgy, right?
And I'm glad
his wings were horrible. Like, did that distract you, all the flapping of the wings?
Yes. They were horrible. Yes, you're right. The message in the movie to me, I don't know how you interpreted this message. We're good guys because we don't kill. But you're a bad guy because you kill. So if I'm a good guy and I stab you 10 times, you live, I'm still a good guy even though I stabbed you 10 times by the definition of what's a hero and a villain based on this movie.
Yeah, it's just kludgy. Like they just put the Justice Society in there to say, hey, we're good guys, you're bad guys, and just to have another people to fight, right? They didn't bring anything.
It's almost like you were force-fed what a definition of a good guy was versus a bad guy. Because if you watch the movie, you can't tell who's because they tried to keep Dwayne so safe, right? Because he couldn't be a true villain. They couldn't go all villain with him, right? Because it's not his persona, his world persona. He needs all the likes, so he can't go full villain. Now, again, I am a Dwayne fan, but if you're going to go villain, Black Adam's a villain, go full villain. Don't have this gray thing where you got to explain throughout the whole movie what the definition of a good guy versus a bad guy is. And that's what I felt was being shoved down our throat the entire time.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, again, another bad decision. Like, they could have made a good decision, they didn't. They just did the generic path, the easy path. Yeah, very frustrating.
I mean, the audience is smart. We're smart people. We'll figure it out. We don't need it shoved down our throat. We knew 10 minutes in this was a shit movie.
Right. So.
The audience, to me, the big spoiler at the end credits, right? I'm jumping. I know I'm jumping. Did you not? You saw that coming, didn't you?
I read about. I knew it was coming. I walked in, and to be honest, like that got more applause in the audience than the whole movie itself.
Yes. It's funny you should say that because he posted on Twitter. He posted that on Twitter. You know that? I saw it today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right. This is how he's promoting the movie on Twitter. He posted that someone recorded the audio, right? And he recorded the audio of when they showed that scene, and the fans went crazy. This was like in France or something, right? But that's the only probably thing in the whole movie that people went crazy for. But it was very predictable. Very predictable. You knew he was going to be there because if you know anything, Danny Garcia, who's manager of The Rock, or the Dwayne Johnson, also.
Oh, dude, you go and give me like inside scoop here. I didn't know all this stuff. So.
Yeah, no, I told you I love Dwayne. Dwayne's my guy, but this movie's shit. And Danny Garcia also is Henry's. Superman's manager too. So of course you knew going in, if you knew any of that background, he was going to have some sort of cameo in this. But that's it. That
was the best part of the movie. I'll give it that. I'm a big Superman guy, and to see him in that movie at the end, that almost raised my final score, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just the movie is frustrating, right? So
it is, and I love Henry as Superman. I think he's a great Superman. I do. You know?
He is.
And then to drag him to try and save this movie is I don't know what Dwayne's doing. I don't know what Dwayne's doing here because he's made some good movies. I feel Dwayne's true talent here is like that comedy humor, like Central Intelligence, great movie. I love that movie. It's a very funny movie. His other movies I enjoy. You ever watched The Young Rock? You ever seen any episodes of that?
No, I haven't seen that. It was funny. I didn't know that was a show. And then I saw an ad for it on Peacock. Is that a good show?
Yes, he's very good at it. It's about his life as a childhood, but he's not. He's like narrating his life. He's very funny at it. And Pain and Gain. I don't know if you saw that. I enjoyed that movie with Mark Wahlberg and his show Ballers. You ever watch that on HBO?
Yeah, I haven't seen a couple episodes of that. Yeah,
that was pretty good. Hercules, Jumanji was great, right?
Yeah, no, Jumanji's movies were fun. Yeah, that was his kind of movie is Jumanji for sure.
Exactly.
So
I would love to see him go hardcore and do like a full rated R like cop movie or something where, you know, like an action star like S.K. Arnold or something. I think that would be huge, massive. I think he'd be great at that. But this superhero stuff, this other stuff, it just sucks, man.
He's just trying to attach himself to franchises, right?
Yes. Like, he's trying to build a franchise out.
Jungle Cruise, which was an average movie, and I'm being kind to that movie, right?
Yes.
So,
and you know it's average because we both have kids. My kids are younger than your kids, and my kids have no desire to ever watch that movie again. They watched it once and they were done.
They're done, yeah.
With kids like that, you know, they get obsessed and they watch it over and over and over and over. What did you think about Pierce Brosnan as his character there? Were you familiar with the comic books at all?
Yeah, I've been a DC guy. Like, I read a lot of DC growing up when I was younger and stuff. So yeah, I was familiar with all the familiar with Dr. Fate, but this is a different take. This is like Dr. Fate in the comics is a younger guy. I thought it was interesting to have him in that role, right? I don't think I have any major issues with Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. I'm trying to think if anything stood out to me. But again, it's predictable. Mm-hmm. Like, you know he's going to sacrifice himself, which he did. I would say they didn't bring anything new to that storyline. I thought everything was telegraphed, to be honest. So,
yeah, and when he dies, that was a very weird scene too, because I want to know how many scenes they were actually filmed all together in a scene. Like, it almost felt like most of these scenes were shot by themselves. Like, they were in different places and they just shot their scenes. They weren't together. I can only felt like there was maybe a handful of scenes that they were all together in, where they actually shot it. And when Dr. Fate dies, he's like hovering, and the angle of Pierce's face is, it goes on forever, right? He's dying, he's talking, and it's almost like he's hovering like this. It looked very weird and very fake, very strange.
And he died, and there's no emotion to it either. It's
Nothing.
just like, oh, he's dead.
And that's the thing with Marvels, right? Marvels always tugs on your heartstrings. They always bring some sort of emotion, whether it's good or bad. They're so great at it, and that's why people love these Marvel movies. This, nothing. Not even humor, no heart, nothing.
Yeah, what was your audience like, speaking of that? Did anybody, like, react or...
Well, I saw it Thursday night. I saw it around 9 o'clock. It was me and 4 other people in there.
Oh, that's...
I mean, that's opening night, right? You figure you go to a Marvel movie, it's packed, right?
Packed.
At least 70% full, right? 4 people. I didn't hear them I heard them talking during the advertisements, laughing, goofing, and the movie started. I never heard from them again. Not a laugh, nothing.
Ooh, yeah. Dude, I would say mine was probably about 70% full thinking back on it. So, yeah, and it was like no reaction, no clapping at the end, nothing.
I don't know, man. They're gonna make another one. They got to tie them into. They're gonna make a shitload of money. They're gonna think of it as a successful movie, and then at some point they're gonna bring in Superman, obviously, but they got to bring in Shazam too. So how is that gonna go? And then if they do Superman and Shazam, these are true good guys. How are they gonna make him a villain good guy? Because he's not gonna go full villain. So how's that gonna pan off? It's just
I don't know. I think it'd be hard to be enthusiastic for Black Adam 2 on my end. Maybe if Superman is it, that would draw me in. But sorry, I know one last point I wanted to make: the end villain.
Mm-hmm.
That was just horrible. It's just bad CGI. I don't know what they were thinking of, just make this dude like that. So.
And you knew in the beginning he was going to be the bad guy, right? You knew it.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
They tried to hide it. He gets captured. They punch him in the face to make it look like he's one of the captured. And something weird about this. Oh yeah, he's going to be tied to this somehow. But you're right. The villain at the end with the CGI for that, the whole final scene with this big guy getting the crown and putting the crown on, and it was pretty uneventful. Pretty unclimatic there. And then he had to throw his catchphrase in there.
Yeah, that was dumb.
It's dumb.
Just a bad decision again. So.
At what point when you were watching this movie and you were sitting there and you're going, man, why did I let Frank talk me into reviewing this movie?
I know. I thought it was the other way around. I thought let's do this movie. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, and I think while I was watching it, it was just it didn't feel how do I say this? It was painful watching it, but I didn't think it was unbearable. It wasn't like something I would walk out of, right? So
right, it was bad, but it's like almost like a train wreck. You want to see how this garbage
exactly.
ends. You have no emotion to it. You have no feeling towards it.
Exactly. I think you're articulating better than what I was trying to do for sure. So,
did you? I'll be honest. I kind of had a feeling it was going to be like this. I kind of had a hunch.
Did you?
Yeah, kind of had a hunch because of egos with his ego in the movie. I just had a feeling if he isn't going true villain, like full villain, this thing's gonna suck.
He can't. That's on his persona. He has a very straight persona of what kind of movies he does. He almost I was telling I saw it with my daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I also he plays the same character every movie. Let's be honest.
Every movie, Kevin. I'm glad you said that. Every movie.
Yeah.
Because I think he's so wants to be a bankable star amongst a wide variety of ages and audiences, and he can't be full villain because kids is part of his his fan base that he wants to keep. So if you go full villain, that's not good, right? You know? That's my opinion.
Yeah, like what they should have done, like you said before, they should have made this a rated R movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
He should have been the main villain in the movie, not like, I start off killing people and then I don't kill people at the end, and then I'm going to protect my country. Like, that's not the way to approach a Black Adam movie.
But when he's killing those people in the beginning, right? They're bad guys, right? They're bad guys trying to kill the girl. So he's not really killing innocent people like a villain would, right? He's not killing. If he would have killed the girl and the son, all right, you got your villain, right? But he's not. He's protecting them. So, like I said, couldn't go full villain. He's just killing people, which in the definition that was shoved down our throat the entire movie. You kill people, you're bad. You don't kill people, you're considered good.
Right. Like, he should have, like, the way the movie should have went, he should have been brought back, and then he should have, like, killed all Energane in there, get kicked out Energane, and then he said, "This is my country. It basically become the ruler of that country, and then keep everybody out, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just the way they did it was just they sacrificed Black Adam for Dwayne Johnson.
That's exactly it. They have a great character here. They could have done so many cool things with, and they threw it away because Dwayne's ego, my perception.
Right.
Again, I am a Dwayne fan. Okay, don't take that wrong. I'm Dwayne hater. Okay, I like Dwayne, but this wasn't right for him. Wasn't right.
100%.
Now, can you have a particular moment or scene that was your favorite in this movie? I know it's going to be difficult.
No, I think they made two interesting choices. The first interesting choice was to reveal that, because the whole time you're thinking Dwayne Johnson is this boy that got the powers and turned into Dwayne Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And what the reveal was that really he was the father, and the son gave his powers to his father, and then his father went on a revenge spree. I thought that was the best part of the movie. So
I agree, and the CGI of his face on the smaller, like normal human being body.
Yeah, that was the second part. That was actually good CGI. That was, they take Dwayne Johnson's physique and make him more of a normal physique. They did a good job. So
that part was I was most impressed with. That, like you said, man, that was crazy. Like, you didn't see that little twist. That was the only little twist, but nowhere near to save this movie.
Mm-mm.
And that CGI was great because you put his face there, and you're like, it looks like a mortal, not his enormous bodybuilding physique. And
yep.
I kept looking for flaws when he was moving around when he was in that, and I couldn't find anything. I think you could tell they put some serious effort in that.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at that critical eye, but it was believable for sure.
For sure.
So.
For sure. All right, let's go ahead and score this thing. So, 10 being the best movie ever seen, 1 being the worst. How do you score this?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'll give it, normally I score high, I'll go low, and for me, a 3.2. So this is a forgettable movie
3.2.
that we're seeing. So.
A 3.2 from Kevin. Kevin, how many? We've done so many movies together, and you're always so kind. 3.2, I think, is your lowest ever. Oh, I didn't think you had it in you, to be honest.
No, I summoned you to give the score, right? So.
Yeah. For me, overall, I give this movie a 2.4.
What's your lowest score ever? Do you know?
Oh yeah, it was a 1 point. It was the one I just did recently, the Amsterdam movie. That thing.
Oh, I didn't see that video, but that was horrible. I saw your.
You don't even have to watch it, okay? I'll save you the time. It's this. It's so boring. It is so.
They got all the stars in it though.
Oh my god, it is so bad. That's why you think you go in, it's gonna be a good movie. I think I gave that one like a 1 point something because it was unbearable to watch. It was so boring. And after that one, it'd probably be the Eternals because I thought that was one of Marvel's worst movies.
Yeah, that was a bad Marvel. That was a. They had some good parts in it, but it was slow and. Yeah, I agree with that. That's one of the worst Marvel movies out there.
And then my second to worst would probably be Morbius after Eternals. So I'd probably.
I have no interest in watching that.
Don't.
No, thank you.
Don't watch it. Do yourself a favor. Walk right past that one.
So that. Sorry, I want to ask this one last question.
Yeah, please do.
DC movies are a mess. They have no direction, no vision. Even the ones I like are not. I just don't know where DC is going to go from here, right? I know they've been talking about this 10-year plan. Is it the start of the 10-year plan? This is not a good place to start. So
you're right, because do you think it's because Kevin Feige is running all of Marvel? Like, there's one person in charge.
No, yeah, maybe, but I think they did that and they rushed it. I mean, I like the Zack Snyder. Okay, I know a lot of people don't like the Zack Snyder stuff, right? A little too dark, a little too not very funny. But I enjoyed those movies. I like Man of Steel. I know a lot of people have problems with Man of Steel and how Superman's in there. I liked Batman versus Superman, but really, I really like the ultimate cut they did, right, where they had all the missing stuff. And I understand people have problems with that. Justice League was okay, but we didn't destroy that. Did you watch the Justice League Zack Snyder cut?
Yeah, I watched that one. Yep.
And how was that?
It was better than the original cut, that's for sure. The one that
too long.
It was long, but I mean, I think you needed it to understand everything because the original theater one it didn't make any sense because they cut out so much stuff. You watch the longer version, it makes more sense.
I enjoyed that. They should have just kept his vision. I know it wasn't like a Marvel vision, and people had problems with it because his movies aren't fun and funny, and they're a little darker than the source material. But that would have been something. But now they're just all over the place.
They are.
They want to be Marvel,
yes,
but they don't have the talent to be Marvel.
I think you're onto something here. I think they should go in a different direction. Keep going in the darker versions of these movies, and I think they'll have a big fan base. But they don't. They want the most money they can get, right? So they have to go to a broader fan base, which then it hurts the product, in my opinion. The Man of Steel, I agree with. It was a great movie. They should have stuck with that kind of formula and built off of Man of Steel.
They tried, and then they got scared, and they said, no, we're going to go back to more Marvel stuff. Even, like the Wonder Woman stuff, the first movie I enjoyed the first movie. The second movie was junk. It was boring. They're just all over the map. It's frustrating, right? So
are you saying, Kevin, you want to make a wish? Yes. Would you like to make a wish that DC will become as good as Marvel? Wouldn't that be great?
At least have direction. They don't have any direction right now, right? Even the Batman movie was good, but it's not. It's its own standalone thing, and they have this standalone movies they do, and they have this movies that are left over from the Snyderverse. It's just, I don't know how they're gonna fix it. So.
Yeah,
this movie did not fix it for sure.
No, it made it even worse. It just tore it apart even worse because now Dwayne's got his vision. Let's be honest, it's his vision, and it goes nowhere near any of this prior stuff. It's just completely like the Batman movie. Why didn't you try to tie something? Because that was a dark movie and it was good. It did well. Why don't you tie it into that somehow, same theme or something? But nope, completely way off here. Like you said, it's just a mess. Like,
yeah, they have like 2 tracks going on now. They have this track that's left over from the Justice League movie that have the same characters, and then they have this other track where they have like random DC movies popping up, like the Joker,
Yeah.
and the Batman, and yeah, it's just I don't know what they're gonna do. So
Well, maybe they just keep them separate. Like, just keep going with separate, and just instead of trying to be like Marvel, do your own thing where you get all these, because you have great characters, and these characters do well on their own. Like, not all of them, obviously. Black Adam's was shit, but the Joker you've referenced, the Batman was pretty good. The Man of Steel was pretty good by itself. It seems to be the issue of trying to combine them all into one movie is the big headache, and then where it falls completely apart. So just don't do that then.
Yeah, I agree. But I think they're going to go back to let's try to do Marvel, which is also a mistake. They can't do Marvel.
Exactly.
Marvel has a vision. They have a formula. Even though the formula is probably getting a little tired. Like, did you enjoy like the recent? Did you like Love and Thunder? Did that click with you at all?
I did, because to me it was a little different. It felt like because Chris Hemsworth is such a good comedic actor, in my opinion, the way he sells it. Like, so I had no problem with it. There was was it perfect? No, but it was entertaining to me, not comparable to this movie. So I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it had fun spark. I thought it went a little too campy. I thought he did a better job in Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. There's a movie before that.
Love and Thunder, was it? No, it's Dark Fate or something.
Oh, Doctor Strange. I enjoyed Doctor Strange. I don't know if you like that movie or not, but people have problems with that movie too.
I thought it was okay. To me, the best one of Marvel so far has been Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah,
that was a piece of work there.
Yeah, but even these movies, they're okay movies, and they're not as good as prior Marvel movies. They're still better than what DC is trying to do, for sure.
Right. Well, because now they're forced to introduce new characters because these actors are getting old, and they're running into an issue too now because Captain America's going to be somebody new, or they just eliminate that character. Iron Man's gone. What do you do there? I mean, they're losing because they're getting older. What do you do? At some point, there's got to be some sort of reboot, right? Or this multiverse where we got a girl Captain America. I'm waiting for that one, and
but at least Marvel will address that issue, and will do it probably well. Like, I don't know what DC's gonna do. So
I don't think they do anything.
Like, they wasted Henry Cavill as Superman. Like, they haven't had a Man of Steel 2. They should have had a Man of Steel 2. They just don't know what they're doing. Frustrating. So. And
everybody's craving for it because, right? I mean, that's why people screamed at the end of the movie, because of Superman and Henry. Everyone loves him. And so that's what they should do. Take a break from this stuff and bring out a Man of Steel 2. Even the name of the movie, Man of Steel, was great. Man of Steel. It's great. Zod. Great.
Yeah.
And his dad, Kevin Costner as his dad, was a perfect cast. It was great.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, maybe, I don't know what they have. What's next for them? Aquaman. Yeah, that will be.
We know where that's going.
That will want to be another Marvel wannabe clone, right?
Yep.
So
we already know what's going to happen there. We know where that's headed. That's a shame, because I like DC. I grew up a DC fan when I was a kid, so I love the DC superheroes. It's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's they need direction, and they don't have direction. I don't think they're gonna get direction, right? So
all right. So Kevin gives it a 3.2, which is a shocker. He's usually very kind.
Yes.
And I give it a 2.4. That's a review for Black Adams. Thanks for watching.